Welcome to the DLR Webcast.
Then we have selected the theme for the symposium, Remote Sensing for a Dynamic Earth. This is the main topic for the symposium, and the idea is to emphasize this dynamic aspect of the Earth. So every day, every hour, every minute something is changing over the Earth. We have forest fires, we have deforestation, we have flooding, and glacier melting, and everything is changing. And remote sensing with this global capability is the unique technology that is able to provide information about these dynamic processes. And this is not only information, but we can also use this information to predict the changes of these dynamic processes. So then this is what we have selected as a main topic for this symposium. We have a strong expectation that this conference will give a huge push for the future of the Earth observation activities here in Europe. As you have mentioned, we have a record in the number of participations. This is outstanding. We have a record in the number of student papers, oral sessions, and I'm sure that this shows the growth in these activities of remote sensing, the huge interest of the communities, and the conference is just a venue to help this community to either proceed and develop in their research activities.
Yeah, our expectations are quite high. This is the largest ever Geoscience and remote sensing symposium organized with over 2,500 delegates. And it's of course a very nice opportunity for networking, for meeting experts in your field of expertise, also a platform for international cooperation. The most important issue for us is really from publish scientific papers to try to develop application and prepare for operational services.
Well, DLR is very strongly represented. We have selected here a number of activities, innovations for this symposium. We have a joint booth with ISA showing these newest developments. We have a school lab that is environment for the secondary school students to try remote sensing, to learn about the technology. We have special sessions, technical sessions that we have organized showing Terrazar, Tandem X, and all the scientific exploitation that we are doing, and also many of them together with ISA and many other small things that the participants are learning along this week.
In particular for the scientific community, I would see three major challenges we are facing. The first one is to train next generation Earth observation scientists. And for this we are undertaking, under the new programs we are proposing, the possibility of training PhD students in university in Europe, in member states. The second challenge we are facing is really the moving from science paper focused on one side to more integrated earth science. I could mention the ocean circulation, understanding better the ocean circulation, the atmospheric circulation, the Earth's crust, and so forth. The third challenge is really about climate. We have in our archive like 40 years of data, which are a significant footprint of the evolution of the Earth's climate. And the challenge ahead is really to publish an essential climate variable, a set of essential climate variables which will tell us and help us to understand the evolution of the climate.
So we have now a revolution in Earth remote sensing. If we see the next 10 years we will have the launch of 30 satellites. This will provide a new quality of information for these dynamic processes. And for the community, it's important first that this data is available on a very easy way, as the data must be free, so that the scientific community can use this data for research, industry for value adding, and on the top of that, the satellites missions, they must become cheaper. So then there is an important task for the national industries, but also for the European consortium to try to make this technology more affordable for the next years.
I see a bright future. We have a very wide community of scientists working on our data. In my role of coordinating and supporting the Earth observation scientists, I could tell you we have some 7,000 projects worldwide working on our data. And they will, of course, benefit of the open and free data policy for all future missions in ESA and in Europe. And we are really looking forward to the use of this data for science. For science, we are also preparing some dedicated missions in ESA, which are called the Earth Explorers, which are focused on scientific topics of the Earth for helping the understanding of the Earth processes in particular. And we are also preparing the very important operational mission called Sentinel under the GMES program, and the first Sentinel will be launched end of 2013, and they will ensure the continuity of the historical IGARSS and ENVISAT mission.
Well, we have already an outstanding example about this cooperation, that is the GMES program, Global Monitoring for Environmental and Security. And there we have first on the industry side the development of the satellites that is doing between different countries in Europe. We have these programs, the ground segment, the scientific development that is also coordinated activities in Europe. And ESA and DLR are doing here joint efforts to enhance this program. DLR is the largest contributor to the ESA program in Earth observation. So then I think that is really a strength for Europe. I foresee a great future that having these countries working together, we really can be the player of remote sensing in the future, or perhaps we are already the player of remote sensing in the world. Well, before I tell a little bit about the location, the first thing when we start with the idea was to build a truly international team. And I have worked with my co-chair since more than 25 years. And I thought that if we want to make this truly international, we would need to involve ESA. And I approached him and we discussed about a few sites. And Munich was one of the sites because we have our DLR center in Oberpfaffenhofen that is very close to here. And we start discussing about other possibilities. But then at the end I truly convinced him because of the Bavarian beer that is the best of the world.
Thank you. This was a DLR webcast.